Good evening, Guardians fans, and welcome back to Rockin' at the Jake. I'm your host, Tom Metheney, and with me, as always, Imari McPherson. I'm Mac. First off, it's great to be back. We took a year. Um, new,
Over a year, really.
yeah,
It's been a
honestly,
long ass time.
new home for the network. We're with Network 216. It's our first recording for them too. I mean, as a team. But
Yeah,
it's
so this recording will kind of be like breaking the ice a little bit, just because we've been so far away for so long, and like you said, new network. So trying to get the hang of recording again, and obviously we'll find our footing, but bear with us a little bit.
Yeah, let's kick it right off. Off-season impact signings. Boy, who could have thought that missing out on Jose Abreu and then still landing Josh Bell? I think he's gonna into that lineup.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's gonna look good sitting behind Jose. I like the 3-man punch between Jose, him, and Josh Naylor, as long as Josh Naylor's healthy, which I think he'll be going into the season. I mean, looking at spring training, you can already tell he looks more in shape, which I knew wouldn't be a problem coming off of last year. I mean, just coming off that major leg injury, we knew that last year wasn't going to be, all the Josh Naylor that you would think you would see. And so it's good to see him in shape, and he's been launching the ball too. He had a nice home run off of a left-hander the other day. Good to see him pull those hands inside and hit the ball out of the park. So I have high expectations for those three. I mean, I don't want to jump the gun a little bit, but just those three, I mean, that's kind of the star of the lineup for me. But Josh Bell, I mean, I've been a fan of him since he was in Pittsburgh. And of course, the only All-Star appearance he had was in Cleveland. So it's good to see him wearing a Cleveland uniform now. But yeah, I expect maybe like a nice 20 home run season from him. I'm thinking he could be, as long as he's healthy and he's playing every day, splitting reps between first base and DH. So what about you?
Man, 20 home runs, I think, is like the minimum. Guy with that kind of pop. I mean, yeah, you got to navigate through the cold ass Aprils in Cleveland, which he got to start playing in Pittsburgh. One thing I do love about the signing is he's not an overrated 7-hole hitter. Shout out to Eddie Rosario. You're overrated, dude. Let's see. Zunino instead of Hedgie. That one's kind of tough. Big fan of Austin Hedges, but the future is so bright. As far as catching is concerned, I mean, my man Bo Naylor. I just missed getting to see him play in Akron. He got called up like the week before we were supposed to go catch a game. He's lurking right around the corner. Zunino, great defensive catcher. He's got a little bit more pop and contact ability than Hedgie, than Bebo, which I guess isn't saying much when a good year for your catchers is 195. But Zunino should hopefully, if he sticks around that 215, 220 mark, it's a good season for them. Walk me through what you think he's going to do for our starting pitching.
I think he'll be fine, just getting through spring training and getting those reps in and trying to learn everybody. I think it'll help that as long as everybody's healthy, he won't have to go through too many starting pitchers. I mean, going into spring training, we should have already known who the 5 were going to be. It was just going to be that order. And I mean, just news came out the other day. It's going to be those same 5 pitchers that we imagined. So I feel like he'll be fine defensively. Offensively, I could see a 230, maybe a 240 season from him. And that may be asking for a lot. But if we get that, I don't think we can ask for much more. Obviously, offensively, he's better than what we've had, which, like you said, isn't saying much. And maybe he doesn't have the pop that Bebo did. I mean, he did hit 20 home runs that one year, but I mean, he was like a 3 TO. I mean, home run, strikeout, or whatever. But you're not going to get a whole ton from him offensively, but I think he'll do just enough offensively to make a difference and say, you know what, this is what we needed from a catcher just until Naylor comes up. Obviously, he's going to be in AAA to start the year. So, I mean, we'll see when he gets called up. And I don't think it's a like a controlling his rights type of thing. It's just he really just needs a little bit more development. And I don't think that's a surprise to anybody that watched him. I think he was a treat to watch in the World Baseball Classic, but coming off of the end of last year, I think it was clear that, it doesn't hurt to send him back down for a little bit just to get some more reps, even if it's only for a month. Then bring him up, and then he could be Zunino's backup. You know what I mean? So maybe he's starting every fourth or fifth day. Who knows? But to get that development will be key for him and key for the team going into the future, because I think that, everybody knows that he's going to be the future. This Zunino signing is only for 1 year. I'll be surprised if he's here next year, and I'll be surprised if Naylor isn't the everyday starter next year. So I think he'll do just enough to kind of bridge that gap for this year. And I do actually see him staying the entire year and kind of being that mentor for him, being the veteran that he is. So I think between him and Bell, I think those signings will work wonders for the team this year.
Couldn't agree with you more. That's one of the better off seasons in recent memory that I think I've been most excited about. In looking at the plethora, of players in the system, you got starting pitching that's knocking on the door in the next year or two. You've got a glut of middle infield. You have tough choices to make in the outfield. Which leads us into the next thing I wanted to hit on was buyers or sellers at the deadline. I think we've both agreed we're buyers, and
should be.
It's not a time to be, I'm high on this guy in the minors. Oh, I think this guy. Listen, they're all about the same. The one guy that I think I'll catch some heat for, being willing to deal, Daniel Espino. I was so thrilled about drafting him, but he can't stay healthy. I hope he finds the success in another organization, but it's just not going to be in ours. So for that reason, I'd love to see them move on, get another starting pitcher, some kind of a big league ready outfielder, which is crazy again, because we're talking about, you're bringing back Oscar Gonzalez, you're bringing back Miles Straw, you're bringing back Ahmed Rosario, who plays a killer left field. You can throw Josh Naylor into right field. But if you have the opportunity, it's really hard sometimes to pass up the ability to improve your team however you can. Who do you think could be somebody that we move on from come, August 1st, July 31st?
Yeah, it's like late July. I think they changed it. I can't remember exactly what day, but I think it's late July. But to answer your question, I honestly don't know, because I feel like we have such a plethora of available and really good prospects that for me, it would be difficult to kind of pinpoint exactly who we would move on from. And if I'm being honest, I didn't see us moving on from the prospects that we moved on, last year and over the offseason. And that's not to say that I'm upset about it or whatever the case may be. I just didn't see it coming. So I think for us, hopefully we'll be buyers. For me, I would like to see more of some bullpen help, especially if they're going to be under team control past this year, because I think that's the one area that the team should have focused on that they didn't this year. Our starting pitcher will be fine. I think MLB had us, I believe, I could be wrong, as the top 10 rotation. I know we were number 10 for lineup, but rotation, I think anybody will agree we're one of the best rotations and have been for years now, because that's what we do. But the bullpen, once you get past those 5, 6, 7 innings that the starting pitcher is going to get you, who are you going to throw out there to bridge the gap between the starting pitching and Emmanuel Clase? You know what I mean? So that's one area that I would like for them to focus on. But yeah, they should be buyers. I hope they'll be buyers at the deadline. I can't see them being sellers. It'll be a massive failure if they are sellers, because it's like, well, what the hell? What happened? Where did we go wrong? So I would like us to address the bullpen, to answer your question.
I love that. I think bullpen is the one true weakness. And again, maybe some of it's being a homer for some of these homegrown players that we have. I mean, you're looking at, John Kenzie Noel. He can't be far off. I mean, in seeing him in Akron, man, that ball comes off his bat. I mean, thank God for the screen that surrounds minor league and now major league.
You'd kill somebody if he wasn't there.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the velocity. And I was so upset. Spoiled guy that I am. No home runs that night. Mashed one hellacious double though. So the contact that he had, the pop, it's everything that's been advertised. And
yeah.
Okay, season expectations and predictions. I'm going to steal your thunder because I'm just like that.
Go right ahead. That's what you do.
I think that Tristan McKenzie finishes top 3 in the Cy Young. I don't want to be that guy who jinxes him because I would love to see the Razor Blade win the Cy Young because no one has shit on that guy more than I have. And again, I was wrong. He has developed phenomenally into who I believe is our number 2 starter and really could challenge Shane Bieber for number 1. I mean, gosh, you could say goodbye to Bieber next season. And I would argue we're in fantastic shape behind him. And I know that that's spoiled because think of how many great starting pitchers we've seen, or really good starting pitchers that we've seen. Great's kind of a strong word. Yeah, I'm going to go with Tristan McKenzie, top 3 Cy Young finish this season.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. Sometimes I struggle with predictions. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Guardians repeat as division champions. But I mean, I really, me, I love Tristan McKenzie. For anybody who's new, I've been on the McKenzie train for years now, even when he was in the minors. Humble brag, he follows me on Twitter. But yeah, so I mean, for him to win the Cy Young Award,
he'll respond to
you. He does. He will. So, I mean, correct. He will respond to me sometimes. I'm not somebody that tweets at athletes a lot, but for someone who has like a friendly rapport, he's one of many people on the team that you could probably tweet at and he'll respond to you. But obviously I would love to see him win Cy Young. But yeah, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that, the Guardians repeat. I see
that's not a limb.
Jose Ramirez. I know.
You're entitled to defend what is yours until you can't do it anymore.
I'm gonna say that Jose finishes at least top 2 for MVP.
I was gonna say if you say top 6, I'm
top 2. Now, who that other person will be, I don't know, and it'll depend on the season that they have. But it's undeniable the type of player that Jose is. I mean, he's in the MVP voting every single year, and it's always
it's not his fault.
That far off.
It's not his fault.
It's not.
He exists in the same time as Aaron Judge. It's not his fault that he exists at the same time as Mike Trout or Shohei
Ohtani. Even Jose Abreu, when he won it, he had a fantastic year, and we're in the same division. And I mean, you could play the small market card if you want to, but that kind of really plays when it comes to baseball and being in Cleveland. So I mean, it's really not his fault, but a lot of times that you hear for Cleveland, it's for him, and he should definitely get the recognition that we know he deserves and still has yet to get on a national level. But I'm going to say top 2 for MVP now. I don't know if he'll win it. Hopefully he will. I think it'll truly just depend on who that other guy is and maybe even where he plays, because if it's like a New York or a Los Angeles or a Chicago, then obviously they're probably going to win it. But if it's like a Seattle, I don't know who they would have as a candidate, but
J-Rod.
For them I don't really see him blossoming just yet into an MVP candidate. But if it's like them in like Tampa Bay, for example, like 2 small market teams.
Does Jesse Winker still play for the Mariners?
I think I could be wrong. I know he had a
We'll
down
have to
year his
brush
last
up.
year, but yeah, it's been a long, boring off season for me because I'm just ready for the season to get started.
Yeah, man. Baseball season around the corner means it's going to be time to heat up that friendly rivalry back up on the golf course, which is not a rivalry. One day your swing is going to overtake me, and it's going to be painful for me to watch.
We'll see. I'm ready to get out there now. I mean, if you take from what I look like at the beginning of the summer to towards the end of the summer, even humbly, I'll admit I've gotten a lot better. But having not swung a golf club since, I don't know, October, I'm afraid what it'll look like when I get back out there.
Oh, and I do have to swing it into an episode. How do you feel about the prospect of losing your verification status on Twitter? Are you going to continue
Oh
for
boy.
Twitter Blue, or I mean, because this has been the gift that keeps on giving, even more than when I used to have my dad upstairs saying wild shit about
We need to
gay
have him
guys
as a guest.
and two dogs fucking.
Oh my god.
You're gonna have to edit some of this, and we're gonna have to start
Just
censoring
leave it
things
in.
if we're gonna
Leave it
if we're
in.
gonna if we're gonna monetize this with the network and all this corporate stuff that we got to do. I'm gonna have to fix some of this.
That's all right.
But I did want to get that into. I did want to get my yearly or episodely A-Rod and dogs fornicating reference. There we go. There's a clean word.
It's okay. Yeah, we'll get
Your
it in every
Twitter
episode we have to.
verification.
Yeah, the whole Twitter thing. I mean, we could spend a whole another half hour on this. No, I would not be continuing with Twitter Blue. I think that's absurd. I think Elon Musk is the bane of Twitter, if you will. I think his whole verification status is truly idiotic. Now, it's smart for people who truly do good work, like our people at Network 216 that want to get more recognition, as they should. It's perfect for them. I don't mind at all. But clearly, you saw within the hour of people paying for Twitter Blue the problems that it could create. Now, I'm a relative nobody. I know that. And I happen to have a verification check. I will miss that verification check, but no, I'm not paying $11 a month just to have a stupid blue check next to my name. Come on now. So Elon he's not getting any more money from me. He's not getting any money from me because he hasn't gotten any money from me so far. So no, I will lose that check as of April 1st. Breaking news, by the way. So
sad to hear it go. Sad to
yeah.
hear it go. It's one of my favorite talking points on the show, other than the Guardians or Cleveland sports, which we would be remiss if we didn't throw a quick shout out to division runner-ups, Cavs, making the playoffs for the first time since 1998 without LeBron. And dude, if they could win a series,
They
that would be
will
the
win a
first time
series.
well, yeah, that would be the first time since before we were born. Which is wild. Because the Cavs the Cavs won a title with LeBron. The Browns won a playoff game in our adult lives, since I know that I was a week old in January of 1995, the last time they had won a playoff game prior. And our beloved Indians and now the Guardians can win playoff games. With that being said, playoff predictions for this upcoming Guardians season. Should we, again, stretch a little?
Yeah, playoffs. I wonder who that first round matchup is going to be. I don't know, but I really don't see them being, knocked out in the first round. I mean, there was nothing more heartbreaking than winning 22 games over or 22 games in a row. I should add over 100 games on the season just to lose to I think it was the Yankees, and they came back to win. Oh my god!
Dude,
I
that
just
was
wanted to
miserable.
hop
That
off
was
the.
such a miserable time. One of my Army buddies is a Yankees fan, and I had to be like, we woke up to that. It was horrendous.
Yeah, at least you didn't watch it live like I did because I wanted to hop off of
No, we
my
we
apartment
we were
balcony.
watching. Now that I think about it, we watched it live. That wasn't
Oh,
one of those that we woke up to. Like, we woke up to watch it on his phone, and
yikes.
heartbreaking. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's all right. Well,
I think we're a championship series team this year. Houston didn't lose a lot. I really don't think that DeGrom makes that much of a difference for the Rangers. Maybe the Mariners can get a little bit of it together to threaten in the West. And I know for our AL East fans, or friends of ours that are AL East fans, y'all just wish that the whole playoffs could be the East, because, I mean, there's some damn good baseball coming out of the American League East.
there it really is. Yeah, I mean, selfishly, obviously, I want the Guardians to be in it, but if they weren't going to be in it, I wouldn't mind seeing like 3 or 4 teams from the AL East, just because I feel like the Blue Jays, we almost fit in the same vein as the Blue Jays, just because they're kind of that young team that they have pieces. Definitely, it's just about piecing it together and playing that, their best baseball at the right time. The Rays, I mean, over their past 10 years or so, they definitely have more playoff experience, quote unquote, than we do, but they're also another small market team. So, I mean, just to be able to see the Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays, who knows, even the Orioles, we saw the jump that they made in the second half last year. I don't think anybody
Unbelievable.
saw that coming. So, I mean, if they had started it just a little bit earlier, maybe like a week or so, they could have been in the playoffs. So it's crazy to think how the AL East could play out. But I think for us, I think the only true threat is the Yankees. I mean, they kept Judge, they kept Rizzo, they added Rodon to the rotation. I think Garrett Cole will still be Garrett Cole at the end of the day. But I feel like that's the only threat. And even you think last year were we up 2-1 or something like that against them.
Yeah.
So so to think that we held a lead against them, if it had all just come together, who knows? We're in the championship series instead of them. So I like that prediction, getting to the championship series. I definitely think that could happen, but they're winning at least one series. If even if they get to the wild card, they're going to win that, so.
Could not agree more with you. Anything you want to touch on? I know we're kind of abbreviating this episode, which, for those of you who have stuck with us through the transition, this is very unusual. I'm trying to sort of keep it clean, and we're trying to keep our episode run times under, John Bonham drum solos.
Yeah. Trying to watch the explicitness, but I don't know. For me, I think maybe just the bases and the shift. I mean, the larger bases could calls for more stolen bases. I did see a tweet, I believe, from Jeff Passan today or yesterday. There were over 200 more stolen bases so far in spring training, and only 15 more people caught stealing bases. So larger bases will definitely, play a factor in this season. You may see Josh Naylor steal a couple bags. We saw him definitely try to attempt to steal this year. That's just going to be even more bases for Quan, Straw, and Jose. You know what I mean? So who knows? Jose could get a 30-30 season if he really wanted to. So that'll be one thing to watch for. I think that's more of a minor thing that people will kind of forget about, but you'll see people who aren't base stealers or typical base stealers at least try to attempt more because they have more room to work with. But obviously we'll get your take on the shift. But for me, I was indifferent when I heard about it, but I don't know. I guess I like it just because what I would like to see is how teams kind of finesse the rules where you have to have 4 people in the infield dirt and stationary at the time of the pitch. I do want to see how teams kind of play with the rules and shift, right before, the pitch is made, to see if maybe the shortstop inches closer to the second base bag, and the third base maybe shifts over a little bit more, just to kind of cover more ground, because I do think it leaves more room for interpretation. They try to make it as explicit as possible, but I think there is some room to work with. So that is one thing that I'll be watching out for.
Now I'm going to have to look up what the MLB regulation is for size of your infield. And what do you have happen? Do you just play to the chalk in Toronto? I mean, because it's supposed to be on the infield dirt. I never want to see dirt on that field in Toronto. But I am vehemently anti-shift ban. Excuse me. I love the shift. Big defensive metrics guy, and I'm a huge proponent of the kind of baseball that the Guardians played last year. I mean, and of course, the year that we take the season off, the Guardians proved me right. All you have to do is just hit the ball, put the ball in play. Don't worry about pulling it. Don't worry about, oh, you got to crank 37 home runs. Don't worry about that. Hit the ball, get on base. Kwan was everything I hoped of and more. I really, again, in a disturbingly homer move, I think he got robbed. Stephen Kwan should have been Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, advanced stats will definitely back that up.
But I think banning the shift is ridiculous. It's been a part of baseball forever, which I do also understand the necessity for change, kind of like the pitch clock. I think the pitch clock is going to be one of those interesting developments that I'd like to see more of. I mean, because it really didn't hurt the minor league game. It's not going to hurt the big league game. In some instances, man, end of July, middle of August, it's hot, it's humid. There's going to be a fist fight.
You want to get off that field?
There has to be a fist fight in Chicago. There's no way around it. Somebody is going to get mad that somebody took entirely too long, and there is going to be a fist fight in Chicago.
Just Chicago? I like how you singled out just Chicago.
Bryce Harper is going to miss most of the season. He's usually a leading candidate to charge the mound, twice a season? Trying to think. Okay, real quick. Who would you like to see square off in the $1 million mound charge?
I don't know. Let me get somebody like Ramirez and like Taiwan Walker. Like two heavyweights, two like 6'6", 6'7" guys just go at it. It'll be a UFC fight in the middle of a baseball diamond. That would be entertaining.
Okay, I could get behind that. I would probably pick Vladimir Guerrero Jr., which, again, the most unlikely dude in the whole world, because the gentle giant, I mean, he really does possess like the Zen calm when he's between the lines. God, pitching wise, do I want to see him fight somebody in his physique class? If so, do you bring Bartolo Colon out of retirement?
No, you got to keep it to active players.
Am I allowed to do this? Am I allowed to do
this? You got to keep it to active players. He could be on the bench.
Bench coach Bartolo Colon. Pitchers. Not Chris Sale, because at this point he's been hurt so much that I feel like
that would be unfair. Chris Sale is like 6'6" and the size of Tristan McKenzie.
True. God, there's just no, I don't know. Like, you got a good one with Taiwan Walker. I mean, God, can you imagine him squaring off against CeCe? Legendary. Or just
I'd give the advantage
coming out of the dugout straight at him.
I give the advantage to CeCe in that battle, but that would be a good one in this weird hypothetical fight that we just conjured out of nowhere.
We'll have to come back to that. Revisit that next time around. You got anything else, man?
No, I've got nothing else. I'm just ready for baseball to get here. The first game is on Thursday, and if, by the way, if you're with T-Mobile, you might want to sign up for MLB TV starting tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to be doing for a free season of MLB TV. Plus, I think you could stream minor league games this year, so that'll be fun as well. But other than that, I'm just ready to get to it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the wife and I are AT&T customers, so that won't be happening for us. And you know, Bally Sports is dead. Long live the king. I don't know. I mean,
no, I'm ready. I was ready for nobody really like Bally Sports. Let's be honest. I haven't had problems because I still have cable because why do that to myself with streaming. But so I personally I've never had any problems, but you can see the problems that people are having and it's very loud and clear. So to see them go away, even for someone who didn't have problems, I'm not upset with it.
not heartbroken at all. All right, man.
Yeah.
So we wrap our, what is this, the first episode of the third season? This is the third season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Third season, fourth year of being friends.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. So it's the end of our first episode of the third season. Great to be back. Thank you to everyone who's stuck with us through this long and sometimes arduous journey. Thank you, Belly Up Sports. We do want to give you guys a quick shout out in the episode. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for giving us the room to do what we wanted and even take our hiatus. And to the guys at Network 216, thanks for bringing us on. We look forward to a great season of content with you guys, and we look forward to the growth that you guys are really, really working hard for. Guys have put out some fantastic content, and couldn't be happier to be with you guys. So for Imari
absolutely, if you're seeing this, go subscribe.
Yeah, what he said. Again, he's much better at this than I am. We've established this. We have hours of tape at this point, literal hours. All right. Now that we've gotten our first one out of the way, hopefully the editing team can save me here. That should go in the blooper reel, which fantastic. $5 idea, Network 216. If you just want a blooper channel of the two of us, I will be happy to supply. So with that being said, for Imari McPherson, I'm Tom Metheney. We're rocking at the Jake. We'll see you next time.